Hey guys, so we have a reveal and stuff coming up this week. I believe it's going to be dropping on the 12th. Yeah, July 12th. This is a Tuesday. For me, it's going to be the night, but for most people in North America, it should be the morning of the 12th. And then obviously that night in NA, it will be the day to download, and then whatever is announced will be released. So I'm going to quickly talk about what I think is going to be coming, and obviously by the thumbnail, by the title, you'll probably know what I'm going to say here. But initially, I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity for them to drop an Ultra Super Vegito character, right? We got Ultra Gogeta for the Legends Festival. It only makes sense that the next, big celebration could drop an Ultra Super Vegito, sort of the counterpart to Gogeta, who we already have. But there's some different factors that have made me reconsider this idea. Number one, I feel like for like an Ultra Super Vegito, he probably would be the headliner of whatever celebration he's going to be in, right? So, for example, if he's part three of this anniversary, then that kind of overshadows UI Goku, who's supposed to be the headliner. He's the logo of the anniversary. He was the first character released. Like it makes sense that UI Goku is supposed to be the main character here. Um, and don't get me wrong, Super Vegito is probably the best selling character in this series in Dragon Ball. Period. I can't think of another character that would outsell Super Vegito. I think he's the biggest moneymaker in the series. Yes, even more so than UI Goku, more than Blue Gogeta, more than Vegito Blue, more than anything. Super Vegito is what sells money. What sells? Super Vegito is what sells and what gets them the most money. Period. It's just it's proven. It's a fact, pretty much. So I think I guess what I'm trying to say here is I could see Super Vegito releasing for Legends Festival this year, I guess, but they would have to make him sort of like the headliner of the celebration, right? Or they can sort of link it to like how they did Legends Festival last year with Ultra Gogeta, Blue Goku and Vegeta, and the Trunks. They, I mean, obviously that was the first summonable Ultra character, right? Ultra Gogeta was, but there was no like designated headlining character for that celebration, which is why they were able to really do what they did with Ultra Gogeta. Because don't get me like Ultra Gogeta easily was the most money making unit of that celebration by far. I'm pretty sure he just incinerated the money that the Blue Goku Vegeta made. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I can't imagine that Ultra Gogeta didn't sell better than the Goku and Vegeta tag unit, but well, I don't know. Regardless, Ultra Vegeta would outsell anything in this game. Period. And any possible scenario that you could think of, I think any kind of like Ultra Super Vegeta or new LF Super Vegeta, like that's the biggest thing that they could release. So for an anniversary celebration, I thought that was what we were going to be getting. But that's sort of the first point. The second point is if you guys realize they did bring back a lot of regen banners for Zenkai characters. And typically what they do is they like to bring back Zenkai banners for characters that are either about to release or for characters that are currently out and are able to support them in some way. So they brought back the blue Piccolo Zenkai banner, and they brought back the green Majin Buu Zenkai banner, and they just released this green Piccolo Zenkai. So I think that's pretty telling that due to the fact that we have currently no new regen characters released, right? The next character released is most likely going to be a regen character, right? So, especially take a look at this Piccolo. Like this Piccolo actually came out of nowhere. Like there's actually no reason for them to be Zenkaiing this Piccolo at all, outside of him potentially being able to support and help out the next release. And the same thing goes for the reasons why they brought back the Regen manager. Regen has not been touched in legitimately a half of a year, pretty much. Right, the last like new big release we got for Regen, I don't even know if I call it big, but the last release we got for Regen as a new character that's actually been like effective in the meta was Goku Black and Zamasu. And I guess the last big release we could say for Regen was LF Cell, who came out I think in like October of 2021. So it's been a long time since Regen has been given some support here. So with these two Zenkai banners returning, with them releasing the Green Piccolo Zenkai banner, not only do I think it's going to be likely that we get a Regen character, but it's looking likely that we're going to be getting a green Regen character, because they could have picked any Regen character to Zenkai, and they picked this Piccolo for some reason. And Majin Buu is also a green Zenkai buffer for Regen, so a green Regen character probably seems likely in terms of what we're going to be getting. But I think because of the fact that we did end up getting the free Majin Vegeta, it makes the most sense to me that whatever Regen character we're going to be getting is from the Majin Buu saga. And of course, you guys can see where I'm going with this. Seems likely to me that we're going to be getting some form of Buu, right? Now, I don't know which form of Buu we're going to be getting, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that we're probably going to be getting some form of Buu as the Ultra character for this anniversary, which is kind of interesting, right? When you think of like anniversary, big hype celebration, like the pinnacle of the year for the game, pretty much one of the two pinnacles of the year, the anniversary and Legends Festival, I don't really know if like Ultra Buu jumps to the front of your mind when you're like, okay, like what's the hypest thing they could possibly release? Which is why I'm a bit. I was, you know, I really thought it was going to be Super Vegito, and the pieces don't add up for it to be Super Vegito. So I'm at this point leaning more towards us getting a Buu character. Also, another thing to remember is that we have not gotten a single villain for this entire anniversary, right? I mean, unless you want to count Majin Vegeta, but Majin Vegeta is more so of like an anti-hero, I guess, for that portion of the series. But we got UI Goku. We got Dragon Fist Goku, we got Tapion, we got Transforming Vegeta, all the free characters. You know, we got Gogeta, we got the 3 Universal Robots. They're all heroes. They're all like good guys. Not a single villain this entire anniversary. None. So I guess they kind of feel like they have to balance things out with a Buu character. To me, it makes the most sense to release villains, especially in a game like this where it takes a lot longer to create these characters than you know, like for example, Dokkan. Like the 3D models and the animations that this game has definitely require more development time to create. That's just a fact, right? So I think the way that they should handle villains in this, and they've actually been doing this for a long time. So for some reason they decided to change up the formula this year. I guess this may be an experiment, but release the villain next to a hero character, right? So last year they released Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta next to Merge Zamasu, right? And that was sort of how they handled the villain release. It's definitely no secret that hero characters are going to sell better than villains 99% of the time, unless you're like Frieza or Goku Black or something really high, like Z Broly is like, those are like the exceptions, right? The villains that are just undoubtedly always going to be selling well. Those, I think honestly those are probably the big three: Goku Black, Frieza, and Z Broly. Those are like the 3 most popular villains, honestly. But they decided this year that they were going to be doing one banner. Part 2 was going to be one banner, and then I guess this Part 3 is going to be one banner as well, because I think it's pretty safe to assume this is going to be an Ultra, because them not releasing an Ultra for the anniversary is kind of absurd. But an Ultra character releasing for Part 3, that's probably at this point going to be a villain. I mean, I just stated the reasons why, but in the past, they've done Gogeta, they've done Merge Zamasu. So for the last year's anniversary, I mean. And for me, I am a villain guy, but even I will concede that I don't know, 95% of their, maybe not that high, maybe like at least 90% of their revenue made during the 3rd year anniversary was from people summoning for Gogeta over Merge Zamasu. So it sort of begs the question, like, why would they even bother doing villain releases at the same time as, hype good guy releases? Because if everybody's going to summon for the good guy anyway, then it kind of defeats the purpose of releasing both at the same time, which might be their thinking here, right? They might be thinking, okay, well, if we had released, I mean, it's not just for villains either. Like, you can make this argument for anything, right? If they release UI Goku and Dragon Fist together as like a dual LF banner setup, guess what? 80% of the people are going to be summoning for UI, right? That's just the way it works. Whenever you release these dual banners like this, people are going to choose the character that, you know, they like more, they think is more aesthetically pleasing, the character that they like more personally. Like during Legends Festival, we could say the same thing. I guarantee you, 80% of the people summoning during Legends Festival probably summoned for the Goku and Vegeta, right, over the Trunks. It's just the way it works. So in terms of how they should handle these villain releases going forward, it's going to be tough because if they're going to be abandoning that format moving forward, which I don't know if they are, I'm just speculating the reason why they didn't decide to do that for the anniversary. But if they're going to be abandoning the dual LF step up format moving forward, then I guess what we'll end up seeing is things like this, assuming that this is going to be an ultra, BUU of some kind. But we'll probably end up seeing, like for example, during Legends Festival, I would not be surprised if they did a similar format to how they did during this anniversary, where it's part 1 is one banner, part 2 is another banner, and then part 3 is an ultra banner, right? That seems likely to me, where one of the banners probably will end up being a villain on it, right? A featured villain, like I don't know, LF fusing Goku Black and Zamasu or something like that, right? So anyway, that's my thought here, and I'm pretty confident that we're going to be getting some kind of BUU Ultra character, which is cool. I mean, again, I'm a villain guy, so I don't really mind them doing this. But I'm just going to be completely candid with you guys, and I'm just going to tell you guys exactly what I'm thinking. If they release Super Vegito as an Ultra for this part of the anniversary, do you guys know how many more views my videos would get, as opposed to them releasing like an Ultra Kid BUU or an Ultra Buuhan or something like that? It would actually be like double or triple as much. So, I mean, they know it. Everybody knows it. Vegito's more hype than BUU. It's not a secret. But I think in terms of like for the game itself and the health of the game, I would much rather prefer they go down the BUU path as opposed to the Vegito path. We already have a very powerful Ultra Fusion Warrior character with Gogeta. Regen has not been touched for a long time. Honestly, just any kind of villain that we get is going to be a big plus in my book. And I just think overall the game would benefit a lot more in terms of meta diversity, etc., from a BUU releasing as opposed to a Super Vegito. Notwithstanding the absurd amount more money they would be making with a Vegito as opposed to a BUU, but that's beside the point. As a player of this game, I think I'm more interested in the game being in a better state in terms of the diversity that you're seeing, the actual meta and stuff like that. But as a creator, I was really hoping for Vegito, just to be honest with you guys, right? That's not a secret here. But anyway, I think there's really only two options here. We're not going to get an ultra fat BUU, right? We're not going to get an ultra evil BUU. I really doubt we're going to be getting an ultra super BUU. So at the end of the day, I think it comes down to this guy right here or this guy right here. Here are two options. We have Kid BUU, and then we have Buuhan. I think these are the two most popular forms of BUU. In terms of like an ultra animation, that's like the intro. If they go down the path of Buuhan, for example, he could be Gotank's BUU at the start, and then his intro animation could be absorbing Gohan and becoming Buuhan, and then doing like the little hand thing that he does, like that little pose. That could be a really cool ultra animation for him. Kid BUU, obviously the one that comes to mind is him sleeping, waking up, and then doing like the chest pounding thing. That's his ultra animation. I believe Fighters pretty much does that, right? So they could take inspiration from that if they want. But I mean, there's definitely things they could pull from for both of these types of characters. I think personally, for me, I think it's more likely they go down the path of Buuhan. I don't know. Kid BUU probably would sell a little bit better than Buuhan would, but we haven't gotten a Buuhan since Purple free-to-play Buuhan, and this guy came out during the first year anniversary, and those are the only two forms of this character that we have. We already have an LF version of Kid BUU. I think for me, the most likely scenario, and honestly the scenario that I would most likely prefer at the end of the day, is if we got an Ultra Buuhan, and then this Kid BUU got a unique equipment. I think that would be the most ideal. This Kid BUU, the sad thing about this is I actually still think this Kid BUU can be pretty good. This guy came out, I believe it was February of 2021, so he's what, basically a year and a half old at this point, so he's been around for a while. He never really had a time to shine because his regen team never really had a good way of supporting him. I think that's the best way of saying it. Like, this is a character that thrives off of nothing but his own kit. He's a very self-sufficient style character. But, for example, if Regen got a character that provided green cards, a character that helped maybe restore Vanish, stuff like that. Like, Regen doesn't really have that many supporting characters. Now, sure, nowadays you can throw on a a leader slot character from a different, like you can throw like Whis on this team to help this Kid Buu out, which actually could be interesting. The purple Whis plus this Kid Buu, like that actually, that's probably a video idea I should probably do. But we need a character from his native tag that'll allow him to thrive, and he never really got that. At this point, it is a little bit late, I think, to really give him that support because while he's still really good, this guy has absolutely no defenses other than the ability to dodge. So if this guy gets caught by any attack at all, he's just dead. That's just sort of the world we live in right now with this game, right? You get caught in a combo, unless you have like 70% reduced damage received, you're just going to die, straight up. But I think like a really, really, really powerful Ultra... Like if they release an Ultra Buuhan, by the way, he's got to be the best in the game. Like, sure, androids, I get the argument. You can't release a unit stronger than the androids or else we'll just be in the same position. I get that. But this tag needs the help, right? Androids, you could argue that androids didn't really even need that much help because of how absurd they made that Perfect Cell unique equipment. Perfect Cell on that team is like a top 5 unit. That's how good he is. It's actually ridiculous. But Regen is actually just dead. Like, let's just take a look here at the actual squad of Regen, right? Who do they have? They have Cell. He's good still, right? Obviously, I just talked about him. He's going to be better on the Android team, but I think Regen is still a really, really nice team for him. This Kid Buu is still good, but I think he's definitely starting to show his age a bit. This rest of the roster, I mean, who's really like standing out here? Zenkai 21 can be okay. This Piccolo definitely still good. I feel like he can carry his weight still. Green Buu definitely his age. This Green Piccolo is fine, but he's not going to be able to like, you know, carry a match for anybody. Ultra Omega doesn't fit on here. This Zamasu can be good, I guess, but it's tough. He wants to be on Future. He doesn't really want to be on Regen. Goku Black and Zamasu can be good, but they can't really do their role. Like they just die. Like it's just as simple as that. So this team just needs a lot. I mean, looking at this roster, and in terms of a green character, because I think green is the color that I'm most looking at for this new character. The best green character on this team is Goku Black and Zamasu, I guess, right? So I could very easily see this guy being green. Like I don't think he's gonna be purple. Cell's just dominantly holding his ground as the main purple for this team. If they make him blue, it's going to overshadow this guy, who I believe, if we are getting a Buuhan, is going to be getting his unique equipment probably. Most likely, it makes the most sense. So I don't think it's going to be purple or blue. Red, we still have a decent amount of options in terms of red characters. Plus, we just got UI Goku, who's red. I don't see him being red. So that leaves yellow and green. I would be okay with either color, to be honest with you guys. I think yellow, obviously the best yellow on this team is going to be the Zenkai LF Piccolo, but green doesn't really have like I would definitely say yes, yellow Piccolo I think is probably better than Goku Black and Zamasu. He just provides more to the team. He's a better character. So if I had to choose a color, I would choose green, especially because we get the extra Zenkai buffs from the Piccolo and the Buu. It just makes the most sense to me. So yeah, at the end of the day, that's really what I'm thinking here. An Ultra Buuhan as the Part 3 Ultra for this anniversary. We have the Regen Banish returning. We have no villain so far on this anniversary. And the way that they're going to be handling these Banish moving forward just makes sense that this will probably be an Ultra Buuhan. And then in terms of what else is coming, I definitely expect, if that's the case, this blue Kid Buu to be getting his unique equipment. Hopefully Regen gets a big boost. We have the Cell here to carry. We have this Piccolo here. This 21 still being, you know, a decent bench option to give the Zenkai buff to Cell and to give the HP buff to the whole team. So I think with the release of this Ultra Buuhan and a unique equipment for Kid Buu, this Regen team could actually make a comeback, right? And then down the road, we're eventually going to get more Regen characters. So I think that's a good start to making this team pretty good and back on track for an eventual re-emergence in the meta. Let me know down below what you guys think about this theory. Do you agree with me that it's going to be Buuhan, or do you guys still think it's probably going to be Super Vegito? Let me know down below in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one.